Hey y'all, welcome to Avery's Apron. My name is Avery, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make this beautiful, decadent chocolate amaretto pound cake. It is so good. It's not too rich, it's not too sweet, but it is like the perfect chocolate pound cake. We are going to hop right into the recipe. So to start off, of course, I'm going to go ahead and beat my butter and sugar and everything together. So I've got 3 sticks of unsalted butter, half a stick of butter flavored shortening, and 8 ounces of ricotta cheese. Yes, I'm using ricotta cheese for this recipe. Whole milk ricotta cheese to be exact. Okay, chocolate and ricotta go really well together. And the whole milk ricotta just gives the cake a really beautiful, light texture. Okay, so it's just a great match with the chocolate and the amaretto. It's just fantastic. Okay, you have to try it. But once it's beaten together well, I'm going in with my sugar, and I'm going to beat this for about 7-10 minutes or so until our mixture is nice and light and fluffy, and all that sugar is just beaten in to our butter mixture really well. So after 10 minutes, here is our mixture. It's super fluffy and airy and amazing. This is exactly what we want. So we are scraping our paddle down a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and start adding in our eggs, okay? I used a total of 8 eggs for this recipe. If you'd like exact measurements, definitely check out the description box below. Everything you need is always listed down there, okay? So I'm just beating in my eggs 2 at a time until everything is well combined. Then we are gonna scrape the bowl down and go ahead and get started with our dry ingredients. And of course, we scrape the bowl just to make sure that everything is well combined. Okay, so scraping all those dry ingredients that are stuck to the side of the bowl, as well as scraping the bottom of the bowl to make sure everything is just folded in well together. Okay, but now I've got my dry ingredients here. This is cake flour and cocoa powder. I just whisked it together with my fork, and now I'm gonna start mixing this in. Okay, you can sift these dry ingredients together if you'd like. I didn't sift it together because I am using cake flour, and cake flour comes pre-sifted, okay? So it's not a requirement if you use cake flour, but if you choose to use all-purpose flour instead of cake flour, which you can do, I do recommend that you sift it, okay? But here I'm just adding in my dry ingredients a little bit at a time, mixing just until combined, okay? So literally like 10 seconds of mixing is all you need on about medium-low speed, okay, because you don't want to overmix. My rule of thumb is adding in some dry ingredients and then mixing just until the batter looks wet again, okay? So when that dry look is gone from the top of the batter, that's mixed enough for me personally. That's just the way that I gauge it to make sure I do not overmix it, okay? But now this is just about good, so I'm gonna turn my mixer off and add in my extracts, okay? So I'm going in with just a little bit of almond extract as well as some vanilla extract, okay? And that almond extract is where we get the amaretto flavor in our cake, okay? Because amaretto is basically almond flavoring, okay? So we're just gonna mix that in just until combined. And I'm gonna do the rest of my mixing by hand with my spatula, okay? So I'm just gonna scrape my paddle down really well, and I'm just gonna fold the rest of this together gently. As you can see, I've got some dry ingredients still stuck to the sides of the bowl and everything, so I'm just gonna fold everything together just to make sure that my cake is not overmixed. So now it's time to get this bad boy into the oven. Yes, okay. So I've got my cake pan here, and I've got my Baker's Joy spray. I just went ahead and sprayed my pan generously with that spray, okay? Because why? butter and flour your pan when they make things like Baker's Joy, okay? Save yourself some trouble. So, yeah, I just sprayed it generously, and now I'm adding my batter in, okay? Just kind of rotating the pan as I add it to make sure that everything's distributed evenly in the pan so that it bakes as evenly as possible, okay? I was finding that there were some spots in my batter as I was adding it to the pan. There were some spots in my batter that needed to be mixed a little bit better, so I just kind of folded those gently together and added more into the pan, okay? So don't worry if you find a spot that's a little bit undermixed. Just go ahead and fold it together and add it to your pan, okay? But now I'm just spreading everything out, and we're gonna pop this into a 325-degree oven to bake for 90 minutes. Yes, it is a labor of love, but so worth it. I'm sure y'all already knew we were gonna glaze this, right? We can't not glaze this cake, okay? So my glaze is simply some powdered sugar, Amaretto coffee creamer, and vanilla extract, okay? I'm gonna whisk it all together until it is my desired consistency. Really, I just kind of eyeballed this. I'll put some measurements down below, but it's about how you like your glaze, okay? I don't like mine so thin, like icing, but I also don't like it super thick to the point where I have to, like, you know, spread it. So somewhere in the middle of that, okay? And this is about the texture I like. So once it was mixed well, I set it to the side, and I went ahead and pulled my cake out of the oven. And there she is. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, and it smelled amazing, you guys. It smelled so good. But for cooling purposes, I let the cake cool in the pan for about 15 minutes. And then I flipped it out onto a wire rack and cooled it for another hour before I glazed it. You don't want to glaze it while it's hot because, of course, the glaze will melt off. I'm just moving my cake over to this cake round, and now I'm gonna go ahead and glaze it, okay? I went ahead and grabbed my glaze from the side, gave it a good mix, and poured it all over the top. You guys, this cake was perfection, okay? I honestly don't know how to explain it to you. It was just so beautifully light, and it wasn't too rich at all. Personally, when I think of chocolate pound cake, I think of something that's maybe a little bit heavy and rich, but this cake had the perfect amount of chocolate to the point where it was not too rich, and it also had the perfect texture. And I know that light, fluffy, airy texture that it had was definitely because of the ricotta cheese. That whole milk ricotta gave this cake a beautiful texture. It is so good, you guys. You have to give it a try. Even if you don't add the almond flavor and the amaretto flavor, just the chocolate pound cake recipe alone would be beautiful, okay? It's so good. But yes, you guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this recipe today. I hope you're able to maybe give it a try because, you know, Christmas is only about 5 days away. So if you're looking for a new dessert to bring to the family function, the family gathering, this is the one, okay? You will shock your crowd with this cake, I promise you. But anyways, you guys, that is it for today's recipe. I really hope you've enjoyed the video today. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you all in my next one, okay? Love you guys. Bye.